Whenever you set a goal, whenever you do anything to improve your life in the future or to become a better person or just any kind of self-work, it isn't just hard work. It's actually your end of a contract, and the contract is with your future self. When I realized this thing, that goals are a contract with your future self, it sort of changed how I viewed hard work and how I viewed any sort of investment into becoming a better person, because I think a lot of people, any of you watching would agree, that most people do absolutely fuck all with their lives. Like, they do absolutely nothing to improve themselves. They do no good habits. They do all of the bad habits. They have no goals. I think I need to make another video like the one I made on goals a few weeks ago, because it was actually really well received. But yeah, most people just do absolutely nothing to improve their lives. And I think if we start teaching goal setting in the way that I just said, which I'll talk about a bit more in a second, more people will actually jump on board with setting goals and working towards them and becoming better people, because they actually realize what is in it for them, and they overcome the number one problem with setting goals, which I'll talk about in a second. But effectively, here's what I've learned. When you're setting a goal, it is a contract between you and your future self. Like any contract, both people agree to it, and both people do something. Both people give something, and both people get something. So you right now, on your end of the contract, you have to put in hard work to become, you have to put in hard work, you have to set the goals, and then you have to do things towards those goals. So you have to set goals for, maybe it's for fitness, maybe it's for learning, maybe it's a social goal, maybe it's a health goal, maybe it's a career goal, could be anything, right? You set that goal, and then you actually do the hard work, the delayed gratification that is going to achieve that goal or get you closer to that goal. So every day, maybe you have to exercise, maybe you have to read, maybe you have to do any number of things that sometimes are fun and sometimes they aren't. It's called delayed gratification, because it's going to make you better in the future. That's your end of the contract. The other end of the contract, which is the end your future self has, is that you can look back and be grateful for your past self, and you get to enjoy the fruits of your past self's labor. When you're in the future, after you've done 10, 20, 50 workouts, future you gets to enjoy being stronger, being healthier, looking better, and being happier, because past you did work to become a better person. Notice how at the start of when I was talking about contracts, I said both people give something and both people get something. This is actually sort of a unique contract, because future you doesn't actually have to give anything at all. You only get stuff. If you choose to be one of the few people that delays gratification, delayed gratification of course means good habits, things that aren't very stimulating right now, like reading, exercising. There's a whole list of them. I'm sure you can find a list of them on the internet or in other videos that I've made. And then there's instant gratification, which is bad habits, things that are pleasurable right now, junk food, scrolling. Again, there's a huge list of them, especially these days, and that's what most people do. But if you're the person who does delayed gratification most of the time, no one's perfect and it's okay to enjoy yourself sometimes, but if you're largely a delayed gratification person and you invest now into yourself, your future self gets the best deal that anyone can really ever get, which is a better life, a better quality of life for free, because you did the work now. The thing that I haven't said yet, which some of you might have realized, probably not most of you, is that there is actually a second contract, and it's the one that most people are taking. There's a different contract that isn't a very good one, and the second contract looks a little bit like this. Same people, current you and future you, different terms on the contract. Current you does bad habits, sets no goals, has fun, if you call having a 10-hour screen time fun, has dopamine is probably a better word, overstimulates themselves, doesn't like themselves, and doesn't believe they're going to get any better in the future because they're correct. And they're correct. They're not actually doing anything. Side note really quick, obviously, having hope for the future is important, but I think the biggest reason a lot of people don't have hope for the future is because they know they're not doing anything productive right now. Like they know they've got a 10-hour screen time, and they know that they're not exercising or doing anything. I think a lot of people who are hopeless for the future are actually, they're not mentally ill. They're just smart enough to realize that what they're doing is wrong, but dumb enough to not stop doing it, or maybe not disciplined enough is a better word, to not stop doing it. That's a side note on hope. Hope is a very important thing though. In fact, I'll put something in the description about it now that I've said that, because I think it is a very important thing. But that's current you's end of the contract. Nothing productive at all. What's future you's end? Remember, future you in the first contract gets only good deals. Your life is better for free because past you did good things and you get to feel grateful for that. Gratitude is also really important. What does future you's end of the contract look like for most people? It looks like worse health, worse self-esteem, no goals, watching the other people around you live better lives, looking back on yourself not with gratitude, but with frustration, being frustrated at previous you, which is one of the, being shameful as well, which is one of the lowest forms of emotions. It's like shame is, I think, shame might be the lowest form of emotion. And yeah, compounding losses, I think, is the final thing future you gets, because when you look, the biggest indicator of future behavior is past behavior. When you look back on your previous self and see nothing but bad habits, you actually do lose hope for yourself, because you look at yourself and you go, well shit, I don't do anything. I don't do anything productive. And of course you can pull yourself out of that, which is what this channel's about. But that's the reality for most people. So the moral of this video is to understand that there is always two contracts. And the interesting thing about them is that you will always be locked into one. Current you watching this video right now, is putting pen on paper on one or pen on paper on the other. There is no alternative. You are either delaying gratification to become a better person and rewarding future you, or you are doing nothing productive and you are indulging in a lot of instant gratification, bad habits, which is destroying your self-esteem, and it's making future you look back and hate yourself effectively. So I want you to decide right now, which contract are you going to sign? Which contract are you going to sign after this video? Which contract are you going to sign tomorrow, or the day after, or next month, or next year? Are you going to be the person who sets goals and actually starts consistently signing the contract to them future selves? Or are you going to continue on this pattern that you know can only end one way? I've just explained it can only end one way. If you're going to indulge in bad habits, you're just signing the contract for the future that's going to make your life worse. This is an important video. So if you liked what I said in this video, good, because that means you are taking steps to becoming a better person. So what I would recommend you do now is you hit the subscribe button, obviously, because this channel's full of videos like this. You show this video to someone who needs it, because this could be the video that changes somebody's life when they actually understand how being a better person works. And yeah, the final thing I will say on hope is that everyone can have it. You just have to start signing the contract that is actually going to improve your future. Hope is sort of like the words on the contract. If you look at the terms in the negative contract and they're shit, which they are for most people, then of course you're not going to have hope, because you have eyeballs and can read. But as soon as you start doing the work on yourself to become a better person, you start to go, okay, especially when you look back at past you and see that you were doing the work to improve yourself, you go, I'm going to continue doing that. I'm going to continue becoming a better person. Guys, that is a video, ebook in the description, jam-packed with knowledge, absolutely jam-packed with all the lessons that I've learned, all the ways to improve yourself as a person. If you're lost, if you're signing the negative contract like we talked about in this video, check out the link below. Definitely will help you. Also, Instagram in the description. Happy to jump on call with anyone for free, talk to anyone for free, give anyone a hand. But guys, that is the video. Thank you for watching, and make something of yourselves. Don't waste today. Go do something productive.